Well, yeah, that's my Target shirt that I got the other day. They were giving them away, basically. Usually, I think you usually have to get them by having whatever price they are deducted from your paycheck or something like that. But because of all the renovations and remodeling and stuff being moved around, store manager was like, "Hey, you want a shirt? Go and get it." And that's what I did. But even though that was a nice thing to do, give me another alternative, outfit to work with. That's not why that's not why I'm doing this video, because as you can tell, I think the title will say it best in some scenario. It happened for a third time. I'm not lying about that. It happened for a third time, and apparently, from what I can figure out, this is a daily situation. And what I mean by daily situation is the fact that the start bus, which, if I can hopefully show you, which goes like right there, that's one of the stop areas right there, which goes right there. The stop bus basically, like I said, goes right there. At 7:30 this morning, didn't stop. It didn't go there. I mean, right here, this area, right here, where I'm pointing, that's where the bus stops to pick people up, because it's an official bus stop. With a few exceptions, like where I just got dropped off at, which was Burger King, which they should make into a bus stop. Give Newman a few more bus stops around here, for Stan RTA. But yeah, that bus stop basically at 7:30 this morning, the person didn't show up. Now a bus did show up. Yes, it did. It showed up at 7:45, 15 minutes after. And even that guy had to apologize. And what was funny is it's one of the white buses with the S logo on it. Like I said, it was a big old white, regular bus with the S logo on it. And even that guy had to apologize for it. He said it was something along the lines of, for him, I guess he was running 15 minutes late. So I think he understood, but I think he maybe not understood. I don't know. But yeah, I had to take that bus to Patterson and then wait almost an hour and a half for the next bus to show up to take me to Turlock. And once again, I had to call up my job to let them know. Like I said, I had to call up my job to let them know. And I did let one manager know, but I think she forgot to relay it to my front end managers. But what's crazy is one of them pretty much figured that was what happened, that I missed the bus. And I explained to her again, yeah, it's what happened. And that basically, this is something that needs to stop. It's ridiculous. So what I did while I was waiting for that Turlock bus, anyway, like I was saying, I called my job up, and one of the managers that answered said she would relay it to my front end managers. Unfortunately, she forgot. But one of my front end managers pretty much guessed that that's exactly what happened, because I wasn't there on time. So she basically figured he must have missed the bus. And what I did is I just stayed, an extra hour, because that fills up my 4-hour quota that I was supposed to do today, which was supposed to be 9:30 to 1:30. But instead ended up being around 10:30 to 2:30, which isn't a problem either way. But still, it's just one of those situations to where it just didn't need to be that way. As I was saying, basically, my front end manager pretty much had a feeling that I missed the bus, because I asked her if the other manager I talked to had relayed it to her, and she said no, but she had a feeling since I wasn't there at 9:30. So what I had to do was basically, make it up by staying until at least 2:30, so I can fulfill my like I said, my 4-hour quota. And it's and it's all thanks basically to the fact that the stand RTA, as they're called, or at least the start people, have folks driving the buses. They have them driving the buses, on routes that they don't know that much about. That they don't have anybody. Basically, they do not have trainers with them. People that can go drive, they could ride with them and say, okay, this is where you turn next to continue your route. Because if not, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. I mean, last night was a prime example of the fact that, things got to get addressed. And hopefully they will now. Because last night, for the second time, as far as I know, riding on the bus driver asked me and other passengers to help her out. The first time was like a couple months ago, when a guy, was driving one of the Max buses, one of the orange and white Max buses, or orange, white, and blue Max buses. He asked us straight through, no joke, from like Turlock all the way to Newman, straight through. He asked us, or something to that extent. Something like that happened. But this lady, it's like she was okay with the Turlock run, but the moment she got to Patterson, to do the Patterson, to Newman run, basically transfer over from 45E to 45W, which is 45 East to 45 West. The moment she got to do that, that's when she asked us for help, because she said she was nervous and she was scared. And we helped her as best we could. I mean, everybody that got on board, when I told them what she was asking, they all kind of had a reaction like, even one guy I used to work with at Walmart who still rides the bus, he had that same reaction of what? Like, what? Really? Huh? Like, he couldn't believe it. So we helped her go most of the way, but as soon as we got to Amy and Driscoll, which is like one of the first main turns as soon as you enter Newman, it's like you come into Newman, it's like, okay, you come into Newman here, right? Okay, you come into Newman here, and you're turning this way or this way, depending on how you're watching this. You turn this way or this way, and that's your first, major turn in the city or in the town. So after we got to Amy and Driscoll, usually I stay on board until at least the driver gets to Merced and Eucalyptus, or in this case with this driver that I've rode with for many years, gets to Burger King. I stay on the bus. I usually stay on there until they get to those locations. But after last night, and dealing with that, on top of everything else that's happened, I was like everybody else. I was like, screw this. I'll get off here on Amy and Driscoll and just go. And that's what I did. I got off Amy and Driscoll along with everybody else. It's like everybody else, I think we're going to go a little further. Well, the guy who used to work at Walmart, he gets off at Amy and Driscoll, along with the guy that rides a bike, to his job in Patterson or wherever he goes to in Patterson, that lives here in Newman. He and my former coworker get dropped off at Driscoll. But I think a girl that was riding with us, and myself, I think she was going to go a little further. And I, of course, was going to go Merced and Eucalyptus, but we all were like, screw this. We'll just, we'll take our chances. We'll walk a little further. And that's what we did. So today, after what happened for a third time with this, with the start bus and everything at 7:30 in the morning, 7:30 a.m. that is, what I did when I got to the park, because like I said, I did take a bus. It was the 7:45 bus. So what I did, ladies and gentlemen, is as I waited for an hour and a half, like I said, I called my job, let them know, which unfortunately didn't get relayed, but pretty much my friend and manager kind of had a clue. She was like, yeah, I had a feeling. And, that's why, I'm home a lot later than I should be. I mean, I would have been here like a little after 4, but because of what happened, it's basically near 6 that I got home. So what are you going to do? Anyway, basically, long story short, as I'm waiting for the bus this morning, at the park, after taking the bus that came 15 minutes later, which apparently is supposed to come around the same time or a little before or after, I don't know. So I'm waiting at the park. And like I said, I call my job, and then I call Stan RTA. And at first I get a voice message, and I leave a lengthy message, but I run out of time on there. So I basically opt to save it and send it, which I did. And then I try a second time, and this time around I get the person on, that's basically, I guess you could say the secretary or one of the head people of administration at Stan at the county. But like I said, what I did is on the second attempt, I actually talked to the person that was, I guess you could say the secretary, the answerer, one of the head people of administration of the county. And she took down the notes, and she was surprised. When I told her, she was like surprised. She was like, what? So she took it down immediately. For what she did is I think she typed up all the information and then asked where I could be reached and contacted. And almost immediately, I wouldn't say almost immediately, but a little after I got off today, I get a phone call on my cell phone from the Stan RTA, one of the head people, basically one of the COs, I guess you could say, because what the girl said when she took down my information was, I'm going to get it to the right people, I'm going to get it to my CEO and all that. And I guess that's the person that called me, because even he apologized for the situation, and I explained to him again the same thing I explained to her, and I even explained to him, what happened last night, what happened a couple weeks ago when the bus was supposed to pick me up in Turlock, but then looked like it was going to stop and then kept going, stuff like that. I explained to him the situation with the 7:30 deal, and he says, don't worry, we're going to look into this, we're going to take care of this, I'm going to get it to the people running this. He said something along the lines that it might have been some kind of remote situation or login situation, something just wasn't clicking, and that they're going to take care of it because this shouldn't be happening. And they're going to get it to the trans development people, the trans dev, as they call them, that are basically in charge of both Max and Start, and I think even Turlock Transit to an extent. They're going to get it to them so this doesn't happen again, because it shouldn't. I mean, think about it. When you rely on public transit, bus, trains, whatever, rail cards, whatever the case may be, when you count on them to get you from point A to point B, you count on them to do it correctly and not make any mistakes. But here though, there were plenty of mistakes being made, even more so. I mean, I get it's a transitional period, but you do not, and I repeat, you do not send people out on these routes that are not fully trained yet, or they don't know the routes, or they don't know, the back and forth of a route even at night. You go with what you do is you send people to train with them. That has always been the first major detail, unless you have experience and you can catch on really quick. That is the last major detail that you need to follow through on. Because even when I started here at Target, even though I caught on real quickly with cashiering and the carts, They still trained me because there were some things that were part of, let's say, the front of the store attendant portion of working up front that I didn't know about, that I needed to know about. And that's what I did. That's what I did. So, honestly, folks, they need to make sure people are trained appropriately. And hopefully once they do get this straightened out, one of the things they'll tell them is, hey, from now on, until this person and that person know the routes, both day in and out, both day and night, they need to have trainers with them. They need to have people to show them where to go and, what the directions and all that, because this is getting dumb. This is getting dumb. And honestly, the two people I talked to today at the county, the administration, if you will, understand that, and as you can tell, pretty much they're not happy about this. They're not happy about this whatsoever. But yeah, for a third time it happened again, and hopefully the third time will be the last time. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like. Love to hear from each and every one of you. Live chat during the premiere, where super chats and super stickers are open and would be appreciated. And until next time, guys, I got to pick up some pads here and everything. But let me know what your thoughts are, and I'm out.